All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Blackwing Trading. My name is Clinton, and this is a futures trading channel. If it's your first time to my channel, welcome to the channel. On this channel, you will see pre-market analysis and live trading. And my goal is to show you a full picture of what trading really is like, so that you can see that this is something that is obtainable. All right, so what I want to do is jump directly into the charts now, but today is kind of a unique day. The president of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, is speaking today at 9 a.m. our time, or 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, depending on where you're at. So when he's speaking that close to the opening, most of you know, if you've been on this channel before, I do the 15-minute opening range break. But since he's speaking, that kind of throws the whole equilibrium off, because whenever he speaks, the market reacts to what he says. And so I'm going to do my normal analysis, but I don't want to take a trade right before he speaks, just because people are probably going to be on edge, and it's not really going to be an opportunity for a big trade there. And then once he speaks, you know, there's usually this gut reaction. And so I'm not going to take a trade then. So the trade probably will be a little bit later. But instead, what I want to do is talk through some things that I'm going to be doing in the next couple of weeks that I think is pretty exciting. So if you're on, just jump on. Let me know that you're on by saying, "Hey, I'm on." Hit me up in the chat. Love to see your interaction and see you on the channel. All right, so let's just see where the market has been at. All right, so we can see that since last week, we had all-time highs of 6,500, but we've pulled back from those highs. We even got as low as the 6360s this week, pulled back here, pulled back overnight to pretty far back to 6365, and then pushed up. And so now we're anchoring around 6,400. That's where we're at right now, anchoring around 6,400, and that's for the S&P 500 futures. So I trade the S&P 500 futures. That's what I always look at. That's the futures index. And so we are sitting at a little bit above. We're at like 6,405, so 5 points above 6,400. But we're anchoring around that level right now. And I do expect it kind of to move sideways a little bit till Jerome Powell speaks, because he does this speech every year at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and it's a lot of financial people there, banks, Fed presidents, everybody's there. And so it's actually a national televised event. And so I'm going to be looking at it over here on YouTube while we're talking about this, just to see if I see any themes or things of what's going to be happening. Everybody's going to be keyed into him to see what his thinking is about the September rate cut. And so the markets definitely will be on edge. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But either the case, this is where we sit at right now, at 6,400. A couple of things is also that I want to talk about. I want to take a look at the levels that we could trade at today after he finished speaking. So since we are sitting at 6,400, going up, we could get up to about 6,410, 6,425, even 6,440, depending on what he says and, how the market reacts to it. So it could get that high. And then on the bottom side, let me just reduce this a little bit. You can see definitely we got to the 63.75 area yesterday. It definitely can pull back to there. It's actually pulled back there a couple of times. The day before yesterday, pulled back there down to the 60s. And then yesterday, it pulled back there again to that area and then traded back up. And then it did the same thing overnight. So you can see that this 63.75 area, 63.60 area is a popular area that the market has pulled back to a couple of times over the last few days. And so this is something that we will look at. That's the primary area that I expected, that if it pulls down, that it would go down into that area. But you could go as low, depending on what he says and how the market reacts. Could go as low as the 63.40s, hitting back off here in this range, 63.40s. I doubt that it would get to the 63.30s and 20s, but you never know. And when you have these speakers, those are usually catalysts. You never know how the market is going to react with that. And so that's why I watch it. I'm not gonna trade right then. But one thing I do want to point out to you. All right. Good morning, Miss Cora. Good to see you. Glad to see that you're on. All right. One thing I do want to point out to you, though, is so some of you have talked to me about, initially getting into trading. And I told you that I started this channel to encourage people to get into trading, especially the way the economy and everything goes. Listen, these markets are always going to be here. And this is a way that you can earn a little extra money doing the short term and long term. Listen, if you go look and see, if you can look at a list of all the richest people in the world, rich people, millionaires, billionaires, and even people who, are high six figures. A lot of it is not just from a job. The whole economy in the world is changing. The world is going to change with AI. A lot of people who have jobs now are not going to have jobs in the future. But these markets, they're going to be here. They're going to be here. And if you can focus your time and develop this skill, listen, you can bring in a part-time income. I'm not telling you to quit your job and do this right now. Not at all. You can bring in a part-time income, which could morph into a full-time income once you get better at it, once you begin to trade and do things like that. So I started a couple of days ago. I had this idea. I'm like, hey, I really want to show people that this is something that you can take a small amount of money and you can do something with. And so I started researching other futures brokers. Now I trade, most of you see, I trade with a company called Topstep. If you've been on my channel before, you've seen it. I trade with Topstep as a funded trader, but that's with a prop firm where they're providing me the capital, and then I trade for them. Well, it's great. There's pros and cons on everything, right? So it's great because they provide me the capital. I'm not trading my own money. I'm trading their money. And then I'm able, since I'm trading their money, I have more access to capital and I can make bigger trades, make more money. So that's the plus. Now, the minus of that is that's actually not my money. So all prop firms have rules on when you can take your profit. So like for Topstep, they're not bad, but I have to have 5 winning days of at least $150 to be able to take a profit. And in the beginning, it's like you can only take half of your profits. And then once you move to the next level, you can take I think it's like a 90-10 split where you can take 90% and they keep 10%. And then they loose it up, but that's as you progress and go further. But say you don't want to do the prop firm thing. Also, the other con about them, which is really not a con, but is that you have to qualify with them, right? So you already have to know how to trade to qualify with them. What if you don't know how to trade though? What if you're new to this? What if you're trying to learn? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. That's the answer is I don't know, to be honest with you. I do know in September that they're looking for rate cuts. The key thing about buying a house, now, if I was you, I would wait to buy a house. I can say this. I would wait to buy a house until the rates go down, because right now the interest rates are high. So even if you got great credit, the interest rates are like 6-7%, right? I refinanced my house back during COVID, when the market was, the rates were like darn near zero. I'm a veteran, so I had a zero down payment VA backed loan, but I got like 3% when I refinanced my house. When I first bought it in 2018, I think I was like at 4% or whatever. So I knocked a whole percentage point off my house when the rates were low, right? Well, those rates are like, nowhere near. There are no 3% rates and stuff like that. They're more like 5, 6, 7%, even if you got good credit. So I will wait till the rates start cutting. Then at least that, okay, I'm going to get a cheaper interest rate on the house, because that was going to make the difference in your that's what's going to make the difference in your note. And then the other thing, we never know. I mean, the market could crash. Housing market could crash a little bit. I do know that the housing values are really high right now. So they could go down next year. And if they go down next year and the rates begin to get cut, which is probably going to happen towards the end of the year and definitely into next year, you can get a house a cheaper interest rate, which to me is a win-win. But like I say, none of us really know the future. I'm not a real estate expert, so you can ask somebody else. Don't ask a real estate agent because they're in the business of selling houses, so they're going to tell you to buy right now. But you can check the interest rates. That's what I would do. Check the interest rates. Do those mortgage calculators to see like, okay, at this interest rate and with a 30-year fix or 20-year fix, 15-year fix, how much is this going to be? Can I afford this? And then estimate how much those taxes and mortgage insurance and all that stuff is going to be. So that's what I would do. Hopefully that answers your question, Ms. Cora, but I don't know if it's going to crash anytime soon. I couldn't tell you that. That was a good question though. But hey, if you start trading, you might be able to earn some extra money, so you can have some money for that down payment. All right, I do want to show you a new company that I researched called Ninja Trader. So it should be up on my screen now. So Ninja Trader is a well-established futures trading company, and if you want to use your own money in trading, and you also want to practice, that's the good thing about this. And also you want to practice, this is a good company to go with. They have a lot of brokers, whether you're trading stocks or options or whatever, they have simulated accounts where you can basically, it's what we call paper money trading, simulated trading. So you're taking the trades and doing everything, but it's not with real money. So you're practicing the mechanics. And I would tell you, if you're new to trading, you definitely need to start with simulated trading. Don't start with real money because you don't know what you're doing. You're going to lose real money, and the key part is you're going to discourage yourself before you really can start taking the journey, right? So I would start with simulated trading. So I had this idea. I'm like, okay, I really want to show people that this is something attainable. So I'm going to do what we call a small account challenge. And what that is I'm going to take a small amount of money. In my case, I'm going to take $500. That's what I came up with. And I'm going to see what I can do with it in 30 days. Take $500, throw it in this company with Ninja Trader, and I'm going to trade every day, like I normally do for 30 days and see what I can turn that $500 into. And you don't have to start with that. Maybe you start with a couple $100. You can start with $100, $200, $300, but starting with that amount, I'm going to see what I can do. I do have, disclaimer, I do have about 4 years of trading experience, so my skill level is a little bit higher than I'm not a novice, I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm not a novice either. So my skill level is a little bit better. But here's the thing that I like about this company. It's two things, the reason why I picked Ninja Trader. Number one, they have simulated trading. Now, you do have to pay for market data. Market data is like $8, but when you pay for the market data, good. Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. That was the market open right there. So I normally trade the opening range break, but like I said, I'm gonna allow that 15 minutes of price action, and the Fed chair is speaking at 9:00. And so I want to see what he does. The market is going to adjust around that. But with Ninja Trader, yeah, that's fine. That's cool. All right. So what we could do is, what you could do with Ninja Trader is you can do simulated trading. So the simulated trading is what you do is you pay for the market data, which costs you like $8. And the reason why that's important because you're getting real time market data. But then you can practice, this 15-minute opening range break with trading. You can practice this and you can take the actual trades and you're not trading real money, but you're practicing. You're learning how to use it. You're learning how it moves. You're learning all that stuff. You're getting familiar with it. And listen, that's key, especially if you're new to trading, that you're able to practice without putting real money in. That way you kind of get used to it. Some people do it for months until they get comfortable, and then they work up the confidence to put real money into their account. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. I did some paper trading for a little bit before I did real trading. To be honest with you, I wish I would have did a little bit more. but I was excited, so I threw some real money on there, and I ended up losing that money. But paper trading helps you be able to ease yourself into the game, and you can start. Now, AB, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. So I'm talking about Ninja Trader right now. If you're just getting on, I'm going to do a small account challenge with Ninja Trader. And so Ninja Trader is a established futures trading company. And I'm going to start this small account challenge on September the 8th. I won't be trading any next week because I'm going on vacation for my wedding anniversary. Me and my wife are going on a cruise. But then when we come back, I'm going to start this small account challenge on the 8th of September, which is a Monday. And I'm going to trade for 30 days. And I'm going to decide I'm going to put $500 in the account. And when I put $500 in the account, I'm going to see what I can turn that to at the end of 30 days of trading and see what we got. Just so I can show you that this is something that's very attainable. And you don't have to start with 500. With Ninja Trader, they have very low margins. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. But they have low margins to trade their micro futures contract. You only need $50 to trade a micro futures contract. So I mean, you can start trading and make a decent amount of money. And then what you do is like a snowball effect. You just begin to build up. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start small, work my way up, bigger contracts, and then continue to trade and see what I can turn that into. So I've adjusted. If you look at the top, I've adjusted this to, because I believe you practice how you play, right? You should practice how you play, which gives yourself more probability of success. Navy, good morning. Good to see you on here. Morning. So I have adjusted this. Now, this demo account, you can put 50,000, you can put 100,000, you can put 5,000, you can put whatever you want. So I changed it to 500. You can see it says small account challenge demo. This is a simulated account. This is not real money. This is paper trading, simulated account, practice account. And if you want to start trading, you can go to ninjatrader.com. You can open up one of these and you can start this paper trading right now. And even though you got to pay $8 for real data, listen, it's worth it to pay $8 a month. You know, that's a cup of coffee and something from Starbucks, right? Pay $8 a month to do real market data. So you actually can take trades. You can really do, you can actually really be taking trades in the market. So it's worth it. But I changed it to where, look, it says cash value. If you look at the top up here, I put cash value, $500. That's what I'm opening up my account with. And I'm trading, since I'm only opening up with $500, I'm going to be trading. I normally trade the ES mini contracts, which are bigger contracts and you acquire more money. But I'm going to trade the micros now because they don't require $50. But here's the cool thing. The ES futures, the minis only require $500, where the micros require $50. And so once I get to a certain point in this account, I can start trading the minis again. And I only need $500 of margin. Now, margin is how much money you need in your account. Your broker is going to require you to have in your account to be able to trade this contract. So, day trading, which is from the market time, my market opens to the time the market closes. Every broker has a different amount that they require of you. So they only require $500, which is great for the mini contracts. And for the micros, they only require $50, which is amazing. So I'm going to start off with $500, but I'm going to trade the micro accounts. And the reason why is because you need a little cushion, right? Even though I have 500 in, technically I could trade one mini contract, but I don't want to do that because what if I take my first trade and it goes down and I lose money? So then I don't have enough money to be able to do it. So I'm going to be taking two contracts. That's what I got. Two contracts, which is $100 of margin, but I have $500 in the account. So that gives me some cushion to be able to trade. But I want to do this just to practice. And then when I go back live, starting an small account challenge, I'm going to be doing it just like this, trading small values. I even changed my parameters to where I'm only trying to make $100 a day, because, you're not going to make, $1,000 a day after on these small contracts. You need to change your mind too about that, to think about percentages of what you make versus how much dollars you make, because once you build up, then you're able to make more money. It's about the process, not the actual dollar amount. But all right, so here we go. We are in the 15-minute opening range break area. Let me go back to the TOS page. And we're still anchoring around 6,400. Now, Jerome Powell, who is the Fed chair, is speaking at 9 o'clock. And so I mentioned earlier that when you have something like this is kind of a unique thing. He only does this once a year. The market is going to react to what he says. And so it's not a good time to trade during that time because it's going to be doing a lot of up and down fluctuation. So I'm going to kind of pause or not necessarily take a trade at 9 because it's probably not going to meet our 15-minute open range break parameters anyway. It's probably just going to be going sideways like it is now, a little bit up, a little bit down, but it's not really going to be breaking that area because the market wants to hear what he says first before it makes its direction. Oh, wow, that was a big push. I wonder is it going to come down after that? Oh, it's starting to go up, up, up. All right. I guess while we waiting for that, I can show you how Ninja Trader is. So it's got its depth of market field of view here, and it's got, chart trader thing that has on here where you can actually trade on the chart. And I like this because it reminds me of Topstep. But if you want to take a trade, let me see what it does here. I can enter a trade. And you can see it's just like before, right? It throws in my stop loss. I got 2 contracts. And then it puts in my take profit. And you can see the dollar amount that I'm making right there. And I have 2 of the micro contracts. So the micro contracts are a lot smaller. It looks like it's going to hit my stop loss. But with these micro contracts, you can see like right now, I'm only losing $15, $10. And you can see how it moves up here. With 2 contracts, I believe it's $40 if I get stopped out. I think it's going to pull back now, hit it. But I just want to show y'all what it looks like. Like I say, this is just a trade so you can see it. This is not real money. So this is the beauty of trading with Ninja Trader. If you want to get into trading, you can do paper trading, which is no money. I would pay for the real market data so that you can actually be taking trades with real data, real time, and you just practice. You get used to using it. Get used to the little things that you need, because a big part of the trading game is you getting used to actually how to use it. Ivan, okay, awesome. Good morning. So, okay, so you can see now it is popping up a little bit. So I'll just see if this, like I said, this is not a real trade. This is a simulated trade, just full disclosure. But I'm going to be doing a small account challenge in 2 weeks using this. And I'm going to take a small amount of money and I'm going to see what I can do with it in 30 days. This is a challenge. First time I've ever done this. And so I'm excited about it myself. But my goal is to show you that this is something that's very attainable. And you can take a small amount of money and with some skill, you can actually turn it into a larger amount of money, probably more than what you can think. And so I don't have a goal of what I'm going to turn it into. I'm not going to even aim at that. I'm just going to do good trades every day and see what I can turn it into. So you can see here, trading the micros, it's not that much, right? I'm up. This is a good trade. I'm up, but I'm only up $37, $40. But hey, that's cool. That's cool. And so, I'm actually going to bring this down. This is my take profit. I'm going to bring this down to 20.
Target filled.
All right. So boom, target filled. All right. So it got up to 64.20 and I made $57 on that trade. $57 on that trade. Now, is that a good trade? Yeah, it is. Here's why. I had $500 in my account and I made $57. So that's 10% of your account. That's a 10% return on your money. That's a good trade. So I have it set to where I in the beginning, I'm only looking to make about $100 a day. And then as I make more money, I'm going to increase that. But those are risk parameters to help you not get, there's a lot of things that hurt you in trading. One of them is greed. Another one is like over trading. Another one may be, no good risk management. Those are all the things that actually cause traders to fail. And so one way to not get too greedy in trading is to look at percentages that you make versus how much actual money that you make. Okay, Ivan, awesome. Well, good to see you. I'm glad you got on here. You say this is Ivy's this your little brother or your big brother? Well, I'm glad you're on anyway. Whether your little brother or big brother, I'm glad that you jumped on. Thanks for jumping on. Your sister is awesome. She taught me everything I know at Catholic Charities when I did an internship there doing my master's program. And so thank you for jumping on. All right, so here it is. I took a small trade, and this is simulated trading. So I just wanted just kind of get that into you. If you are interested in trading, this is the way that you jump in. Don't jump in with real money at first, because you don't know what you're doing, and trading is unforgivable. You will lose your money, right? You're gonna lose your money if you're good, because there's nobody who wins 100% of the time. So you're gonna lose your money even if you're good. You have to learn how to be a good loser, which is something else we can talk about, risk management. But if you don't know how to do it, why not jump on? Why not open up an account, a simulated account, and practice your strategy and practice, doing these trades and things like that. And then when you feel comfortable, fund your account. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to get over to everybody. Okay. All right. That's your little brother. Okay, little brother. Glad you jumped on. Awesome. But so this is where we are right now. So I just took a little trade. I made $50, $57, actually $60, and then, $57 after and this thing is just kind of going up now. I'm thinking when he starts speaking, it's going to pull back. But in any case, this is how you can take a trade on Ninja Trader. You can see really quick and easy. They have a chart trader thing, and then they also have this over here, which is your depth of market. Your depth of market thing where you can take your trades. I usually take my trades on depth of market, which is over here on the side. You can see me, moving. I like this because I can pick which number I'm going in and out of the trade, right? So if I want to get in at 64.40, for instance, 64.20, for instance, I can go in and say, okay, I want to go long at 64.40, which means I'm thinking the market is going to go up. Or I can go short at 64.20, which means I think the market is going to go down. And so, I say this is everything that you need on here. I put what I'm trading. I'm trading the micros right now. I usually trade the minis, but I trade the micros. But if I wanted to trade the minis, I could do that too. But you can set all your parameters in here. So I want to do one more thing for y'all. I want to show you actually Ninja Trader. I want to show you Ninja Trader and where you would go up to set this up. To set up this account. Wow, it's going up high. Oh, it's not gonna let me show it to you. Okay. Actually, let me go the other way. I think it may let me show a little bit of it. Let me try this here. All right, so this is ninjatrader.com. Hopefully y'all can see that. You would go here, and this is the futures broker, Ninja Trader. And if you want to open an account, you can see you just click here, open account. They ask you to put your email in, you give yourself a password, and then it asks you some questions, and then you open up your account. And you don't have to have any money to open it up at first, so if you're wondering, do you need to? Now, to do your live market data subscription, and I probably could spend a little bit more time doing this, you're going to have have some money, either like a credit card or either you will fund your account and then let them take it out the account. That's the way I set it up to do it, to where I put a little money into the account and then I let them take the market data out of the account, which is you do it once a month and it's only like $8. That's the only one you need, but you would go in there. So I'll go into mine so y'all can see kind of like what the back end looks like. Let me do something quick with here. Go back to the normal screen. You can see it's pulling back right now. Figure that would happen.
You can get 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas for only $6.99 each. So while
And this also has a web platform as well. So if you're interested in the web platform, you can do that too.
tangy pineapple on hand tossed and dad wants onions and pepperoni on crunchy thin crust, you can get both. Order 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas for only $6.99 each from Domino's.
All right, so this is my account.
Ask for this offer 2-item minimum.
And you can see there now, I don't have anything in there because I let them take the market data out. But this is the real account that I'm going to use when I do it. I have to fund it. Once I put some money in it, I'll be ready to trade on it. And then this is the demo account that I'm trading on right now. So like if you want to modify your balance, when you open up an account, they're going to give you a simulated demo account. You can see it says sim. The live one is live, but this one says sim. You can go here, you can modify the balance. So I can change this account value to whatever I want it to be. I changed it yesterday to 500. They normally start you off at like $50,000. And I don't recommend doing that because that's that's unrealistic trading. That's going to kind of put you in a weird space. If you adjust it to what you think you actually may have, that's better because then you're going to get a feel for real trading, right? So I changed mine to $500 because that's when I'm going to open up an account to. Maybe you got $1,000, maybe you got a couple $100, $200, $300, $400. You can open with that. I would recommend, if y'all want to know, I would recommend about 500 or 400, somewhere around there to give you some cushion. And then I would recommend you trade with like maybe 1 or 2 mini contracts if this is what you want. Not mini, but micro contracts if this is what you want to do. And you can just open up with that. That way you can get a feel and, you get a feel for trading and you can see what it's like. But you can change your account balance. You can change your risk settings. This is the thing that I really like, right? So here, your risk settings is you putting those guardrails on your trading. So, all right, so here's your daily loss limit. So I put on here $100. I'm putting $500 in the account. And if I lose $100, it's going to lock me out and I can't take no more trades. So what's the value in that? Well, there's a thing called over trading. Trading is highly emotional. So if you begin to lose money, sometimes you want to get back in and try to make that money. So you start taking trades that don't make sense and you can just end up losing your money. And so this is a safety guard for you that says, all right, if you lose $100, you're done for the day. And then, there's a way to do it the next day. And sometimes you need that because you'll get into a mode. Listen, I've been there and I talking about what I heard, talking about what I know. You'll get into a mode and then you just start trading and you lose all your money. So I put a daily loss limit in here of $100, but I also put a daily profit target in of $100. And you're like, why you want to cap how much money you can make? Well, it's the other side of that over trading coin. You can be winning and you just get excited. Think about somebody. Trading is not gambling, but think of somebody gambling at the casino, right? And they hit a big, they on the crap table, whatever, and they're way up $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Once you start winning, it's just normal psychology. You want to keep going. You're going to want more and more and more and more. And a lot of people don't know when to walk away from the table, right? That's why casinos are rich. People win money and they lose money. That's why people get addicted to gambling, because just as sometimes we don't know how to stop when we're losing, we don't know how to stop when we're winning either. And so I put a daily profit trigger in that says, okay, I made $100. Boom, I'm done. I'm just going to walk away. The system is going to lock me out and I can't take no more trades. And listen, I'm trying to tell you, that's valuable. That's very valuable, because I've been at the point where I've been up. I'm not telling you anything I heard. I'm talking about stuff that I've done before. I've been up, $1,000 and stayed in there because I want to make some more. And I got greedy. And I end up losing it, because the more you're in the market, the more risk you expose yourself to. So it could be a lot better. Think about this. Say you make $1,000 in a day and then you go in and you lose it that day, or you lose half of it. And then now you go in another day and you lose another half of it. So you're down. You were up $1,000, yeah, but you lost it in 2 days. But what about if you just make $100 a day and you stop? At the end of the week, if you lose all your money, you're down at zero, right? But at the end of the week, if you make $100 a day, you got $500 at the end of the week. All right. So that's better. And that's the way you have to think about this. Trading psychology and the emotions. That's the hardest thing about trading. I'm trying to tell you, when you put real money and you got real skin in the game, that's the hardest part of controlling your emotions, controlling your psychology. The concepts of trading is really not that hard, but actually, actually doing the trades and controlling your emotions, that's a different thing. All right. So, but you can do weekly profit triggers. So you can say, okay, this is how much I want to make for the week. You can lock your risk settings so you can't go in and change it. You can do a weekly loss limit. You can say, okay, at the end of the week, if I done lost this much, okay, I'm done for the week and I just need to reset for the week. So you can put all these risk parameters and then you can do trailing stops and stuff like that, which is something a little bit different. But you can change all this. So when I'm doing this small account challenge, I'm really only going to change two things. As the account grows, I want to change my daily loss limit and I'm going to change my daily profit trigger. And I keep them at about the same because I don't want to lose more than I expect to make in a day, right? Matter of fact, I'll probably go up on my profit trigger, but keep my daily loss limit smaller. That way I lose less than what I gain. So as I get a little cushion, I may take this up to about 200, still keep this at 100, maybe take this to 200, then change this to 400, so that way I'm kind of tracking to where I want to make at least about 2 times more than what I can lose. That gives you a greater chance of being profitable. So that's Ninja Trader. But if you're interested in it, like I said, go to ninjatrader.com. This is my personal one. Like I say, this is the account. I already got it set up. And so once I fund it, when I come back off vacation and everything, I'm going to have $500 that's going to be going. I hope you join me. I'm going to be doing this every day for 30 days just to see how much I can make in 30 days. But this is where you can do it at. So let me close this out here, go back to the chart. And we can see that if we did our opening range break, our 15-minute opening range break, let's see where we would be at right now. So that's the 15 minutes of price action. That will put us about right here. So actually we wouldn't even be, it made a big move up, but we wouldn't be within our parameters. So we allow that 15 minutes of price action. And then you can see it's pulling down into that area now. I guarantee you, I've been doing this for a while. Once he starts speaking, this is probably going to go down or either it's going to go straight up. But you don't want to be trading during the time that he speaks, the Federal Reserve Chair speaks. And so I'm gonna wait until he finished speaking before I actually take a trade. And when 9 o'clock comes, y'all gonna see how the market moves when he actually starts speaking. Let me just change these parameters here. I do a visual box for the 15-minute opening range break. If you're new here, I just want to explain how this works to you, so you understand how it works. All right, so my strategy, my trading strategy, you just don't jump in and jump out, but you actually need to have a set strategy. And you only really need one strategy. It's better to have one strategy and to do that one well. Okay, what is the free account to learn how to trade? You mentioned it earlier. Yeah, it's Ninja Trader. Let me put this in the chat. So and you go to www.ninjatrader.com. So if you go to ninjatrader.com, thanks for that question, Ms. Cora. Yeah, you go to ninjatrader.com and then you open up, it's going to ask you where it'll have up there, open an account. Actually, you know what? Let's go through it right now. So I'm going to show you what you would go into. All right, so we're up Ninja Trader. All right, so you will see this when you go to ninjatrader.com, and then it's going to say log in. It's going to say open an account, right? You will go here to open account. Then it's going to ask you to put in your email. All right, so I'm going to use one of my older emails. All right, this is going to say sign up, right? So you click here and sign up. And then it's going to say confirm your email address. So it's going to send a link to your email address that you put in there. So I'm gonna look up that link and see what it is right now. I say, because it says confirm your email address, and it's like a little button that you're gonna click to say do that. And then once you click that button, it's gonna ask you to put a username. So I'm gonna put a username in here. I'm gonna put Trading Preacher. That's gonna be my username. $20.25. Then it's gonna ask you for a password. All right, now I'm actually doing it on my phone here because I look for the email on my phone. But what it's going to do, actually, let me try to pull it up here because I want y'all to see this so you can see how easy it is to open it up. Give me 1 second. Let me go to this other account. All right. Just give me a second to press this. All right, let me get this up here. All right, hopefully y'all see that now. But here's what we get. You can see the email address here. Okay, Ivan, it says any way to transfer my stocks from Robinhood or Webull to Ninja Trader account or no. So no, because you can to a different type of broker. It's cool. All right, if you're trading on Webull and stuff like that, that's a good thing. Or in Robinhood, that's great. But only reason why I say no with Ninja Trader, because Ninja Trader is strictly futures, right? So they only specialize in futures contract. That's why you can't transfer it over. But like if you was with like a different broker, you was going to like the Charles Schwab or something like that, and you had stocks in your Robinhood or your Webull, you could definitely transfer that. You would have to go on their website to see like how to set up the transfer, and you can transfer. Oh, wow. This market is jumping straight up. He must have just started speaking. Okay, so you would confirm email address. And then it does that. No, that's not what I want to do. All right, it's not doing it. It keeps trying to take me back to my account that I already have. But you would put in a username and a password, and then you would say create. Let me do this. Create user. All right, you will say create user. So that's what you would do. I already have one, so it's kind of populating with my data. But you would say create user once you confirm the email address. It'll tell you create a username, create a password, and then you can put it in there. And then you will open up the account for you. It'll ask you some questions about your experience with trading and this and that and all that other stuff. You go through and you answer those questions, and then you'll be good to go. But that's how you would set up your Ninja Trader account. Let's go to ninjatrader.com. So you can see this market shot straight up when he started talking at 9 o'clock. I wish I'd have been in the trade right there. This is crazy. So I wonder what did he say? I want to see what he said. Oh, he said they're gonna look like adjusting their policy stance. And so that means that they may cut the rates. They may cut rates. And so the market responded to that very favorably by going straight through the ceiling. That would have been an amazing trade if we'd have been in right there. That's all good though. You always have different opportunities to trade. So let me go back to my Ninja Trader screen though. So we already took one trade today and made $50. I'm going to see what it does here, but it looks like it's probably going to keep going up. And so let me see if we get into a trade. I'm going to get into a trade at 64.65. If it pulls back to that point. Oh no, it doesn't look like it is at all. Look like it just wants to run.
Order canceled. Order filled.
50% off? That's cooler than sweet tea in a heat wave.
And it lasts longer.
Longer than my mom's quick goodbye at a barbecue?
Way longer. It's a top-rated plan with more than 400
Stop
savings a year.
Oh, okay, that got stopped out. That don't look like. It's only lost like $12 with that thing. It looked like someone's off with that though.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt.
Oh, it only took one contract. Okay, all right.
On the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stake.
All right, so we go to two contracts here.
With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for.
So you can see, even with one contract, I took a trade on and lost like, $16 or $15 or something like that. Actually, look like I lost about $20. That should be about right. I don't know if it's going to pull back or not. It may retrace some of this. It's actually pushing up pretty high. Actually, I'm going to bet that it's actually going to go the opposite direction.
Order submitted. Order filled.
All right. So I took a trade. Look like it's going to go the opposite direction, hopefully. So I have it going down. So you can go to the top side or you can go to the bottom side. But here's the thing that I want to point out to you. It's less stress because this is not real money, right? So when you're getting used to trading, this is a simulated account. Now, that doesn't mean that you just treat this willy-nilly. No, you should treat this like real money. But, you have less stress because you're actually not losing any money. You're learning the concepts. And learning the concepts and the procedures is better than, the most important thing. Oh, wow. All right, so what I would do here is normally, hold up. Let's see if it goes down. Be patient and let the trade work out. See if it's gonna pull back or no. I'm thinking, oh no, this is going up. All right, so it wants to run. So the market likes what he's saying. Just to mention for sure again, this is a simulated trade. Okay, it's pulling down now. Pulling down. Let's see how far it pulls back.
Order filled.
All right. So there we go. I won on that trade. Since I did have the $100 in, so a couple, I did 3 trades. One of them lost. I only did one contract, so I lost like $20. I did that trade where I made $50. So this is simulated be my first day of trading. You can see taking 2 contracts. If you have $500 in your account, taking 2 contracts on the micros, in those quick trades, I made $110, and I will be done for the day. And then I will move on to the next day. And so, like I said, it's not about trying to hit these home runs. It's really about consistency and making money. So if I can make $100 a day, that average is $500 a week. That's $500 a week. Now, so you can put some real numbers on this. If you can average $500 a day, think about this. If you can average $500 a day, if you can average $500 a week, and you do this every week for 52 weeks, that's $26,000 a year. Only on averaging $100 a day, $500 a week. Think about that. So you don't have to be trying to kill the game to actually make some decent money. Could you use an extra $26,000? Yeah, I know I could. I could use an extra $26,000 in my pocket. He said, Joey, good seeing you. He said it's probably likely. He said the policy stance. That's why the market went straight through the roof. But so the market really likes that. So that's why you see this big monster move going up. And I chose not to trade. I'm at the point now where, like, hey, if that's a big move like that, that's fine. There's multiple ways to make money. Now that would have been a great trade to take, especially on the minis. That'd have been, $5,000 trade, $6,000 trade going up, depending on how many contracts you got. But, you make money and you lose money, and it'll be another opportunity to make some more money. So, but that was a great move up. But the market likes this. So what I expect to see now is that the market is going to be kind of hitting some highs, because he says that the market it waits a policy cut now going forward. So, but getting back to what I was saying, if you make $100 a day, so we made $110 a day. You do that, average $100 a day, $500 a week. That's $26,000 a year. If you bump it up to $200 a day, think about that, $200 a day. Now you just double that. So you're making $1,000 a week, and you're making $52,000 a year off $200 a day, $1,000 a week. That's some people's salary, full salary. And you can just do this in trading. And hey, by the way, look, we just made this money. It's just 9:10. I don't know what time you go to work, but we got up, we did our analysis and everything. The market opened at 8:30. It's 9:10 now. And we made $100 just like that. So now if I got a full-time job where I got to be at 10 o'clock, depending on how far I got to drive, I can get up from this, close my computer out, go to work, and I'm done with my day. Right? Now, does it always work out like this? No, it doesn't. Sometimes, it takes a little bit for the trade to work out. But just so you can see, this is something that's very attainable, even if you have a full-time job. So what I'm going to do is I already took 2 trades. I actually hit the limit today. So I'm at the $110 because I adjusted the profit target to $100. So just so you can see what would happen, even actually won't even let me trade if I try to take a trade. See, it says it won't let me take a trade because I hit my I hit my $100 profit target. And so so you can see that I can't really get outside of those bounds. And trust me, that's a good thing. So I'm playing how we're going to do for this small account challenge. I started with $500. I adjusted my profit target to $100 and my loss to $100. And I hit my $100 $100 profit target. Now I'm done for the day. I can go do whatever I want to do. You like going to golf course, go get something to eat, whatever. You can do what you want to do. So I'm done. So that's it for the day. So I thank everybody that jumped on. If you got any other questions about anything about Ninja Trader or any of that stuff, hit me up. I'm gonna put my email. For you in the chat, so you can hit me up for email if you want to. Hit me up there at clinton@blackwingcapital.com. And I answer your questions about Ninja Trader. Like you want to walk through, open up the account and stuff, we can do that. And then even helping you select your market data and start doing your simulated trading. That's what I recommend you do. If you're new to trading, you're new to futures, you've never done this before. Hey, pay the market data. It's only $8. That's a cup of coffee. And then do some simulated trading. Follow me every morning, practice the 15-minute opening range break. You feel comfortable, put some money in that account. And listen, you can really turn it into something. So thank y'all once again. Make sure you do something for me before you go. Please hit that like button. That helps, obviously, the algorithm and stuff like that. So if you haven't and you're still on, please hit that like button for me and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And thank you so much for joining and jumping on. And I will see you not this week, not next week, but I'll see you the week after that. And everybody have a blessed day.